What up, everybody? So back again. There's not a whole lot going on Packers wise, but by the time this video gets uploaded, we will have 8 days until training camp starts. I couldn't be more excited. There's so much that's going to be happening. There's so much to watch for. A lot of rookies. Obviously, we have basically 3 first-round picks. I know Watson was like the 34th pick. Basically, a first-round talent. So with him, Quay Walker, and Devontae Wyatt, there's 3 guys right there. Super excited to watch. Other big rookies coming in. Obviously, Samari Torres, 7th-round pick. Romeo Doubs, 4th-round pick. Offensive lineman, Zach Tom, Rasheed Walker. I'm excited about Sean Ryan. Um, he could be a starter for a long time, but Packers have a lot of positions open. They have a lot of guys they don't know or have question marks about. So there's a lot of positions to be filled, and it's going to be exciting to see how it all plays out. They have so much talent on offense, the offensive line, wide receivers, defense, defensive line, cornerbacks, linebackers. It's really going to be exciting to see how it all breaks down, how these rookies progress, and how the veterans kind of take another step because these rookies are pushing them to. So I can't wait. I really can't. I just wanted to kind of do a video, just check in about what's been going on, things to kind of watch, little updates that have popped up here and there. Um, there's like ratings, and there's preseason ratings, and there's projections, and there's everybody's got their own way they kind of look at things, and obviously people use their heart, and they they pick the team they like, but or they grew up being a fan of. So makes it fun to kind of see how people who don't really care about your team rate your team, or how you kind of come out when it's just an unobjective look at the teams and overall. The Packers, well, Christian Watson, we know he's gonna be good. We know he came from North Dakota State, so it might take a little bit of time for him to translate to the NFL. But the Madden 23 ratings just came out, and at 6'4", it says, I thought he was more like 6'5", but it says at 6'4", his speed is 93, acceleration 94, agility 85, jumping 89, catching 77, break tackle 73, change of direction 85, things like that. So it's kind of cool to see that he actually is at a place where a rating that kind of goes along with the speed that we thought he did have, because we didn't know if he'd be, where he'd be at. So kind of cool to see that. I'm excited that his speed's so high. I do play Madden, so it is fun. Damn, I thought I had it all situated and it fell. But anyway, so makes it fun. I do all these live, and I don't edit any of it, so it's just whatever happens, happens. I was doing that one outside on the Packers defense, and probably was a bad idea, but anyway, it's kind of funny. Go watch it if you haven't watched it yet. But looking at some of the preseason projections and everything, obviously in Vegas, I think we're the 4th best favorite, behind the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Buccaneers. But coming out from Tampa with Leonard Fournette being overweight, with Tom Brady not really saying much, kicking Arians out, just it doesn't seem like the pressure's on in Tampa like it used to be. There's no one really holding anybody accountable. Rob Gronkowski's like, nah, I don't want to come, and I just don't see them being as big of a threat. Tom Brady's got to hit a wall at some point. He's going to be 45 on August 3rd. Might not be this year, but at some point you'd think maybe, right? I don't know, maybe. But yeah, so the projections, CBS Sports has the Packers 8th. Chicago Sun-Times has us 5th. So that's, that puts us right there in the hunt. I'd like to see the other teams on those lists. I haven't really looked, but I'm guessing most of them are AFC. I can see the Rams, according to some of this stuff, Rams and Buccaneers being ahead of us maybe on the NFC side. But the Packers, you still have Rodgers, back-to-back MVP, four-time MVP. You've got wide receivers that he likes, Lazard and Cobb. Tanyan should be back. He's got Lewis. And then he's got young guys coming on, Watson, Dobbs. He's got Sammy Watkins, the new guy who they are hoping can be a number one. I saw some stuff where he might get cut, then I saw some stuff where they're pushing for him to be the number one guy. So we will see how it translates. That's what's so exciting about training camp and preseason. Preseason starts pretty much right after training camp starts. I think it's like a week, and then there's games already. So, well, at least from the Packers started training camp. So I'm excited to see that. Obviously, losing Devontae is a big hit for the wide receiver group, but they got Romeo Doubs, who's basically Devontae. He's got the same body size, the same kind of speed, might be even a little faster. Obviously, he doesn't run the routes Devontae runs, and he doesn't have the rapport with Rodgers that Devontae has, but he still has the tools, the physical attributes to be a good receiver in this league. And then Rodgers still has his two awesome running backs. A.J. Dillon, if you haven't seen it yet, watch the video of him. I think it was with Pat McAfee or something where he tackles a mascot. He gets up and he just trucks him. It's pretty funny. Quadzilla looks to have a big year. I'm excited because now his confidence is matching his talent and his physical attributes, and that means that he's going to run like it, and I think that's going to be scary for defenses because he's going to be a tough man to bring down for sure, especially late in the game. And then Aaron Jones, his pass catching ability is so great, and I just really like how he handles himself. He's a really polite young man, and he balls out on the field, and he's not a big talker. He likes to wear his glasses in his head, and I just think that's awesome. He's just so dynamic, and he's so different than Dylan. They standing next to each other. If you've ever seen that picture where you can see, Dylan's quads, and Jones is 5'9", I think, about 209, I think, something like that. I don't think he's that big. And then Dylan, just huge. I think he's like 6 foot, 6'1", and 240 probably. So quite a bit different, especially standing side by side. A lot of this talk is about the Packers defense. Rebuilding the offense, but the Packers defense is gonna be stellar. They've got such a defensive line. I've talked about their whole defense as a whole in a different video, so go check that out. But their defensive line, the addition of Devontae Wyatt, the free agent pickup of Jaron Reed, that's huge. Just a good rotational player to give Kenny Clark a rest. And then you've got Devondre Campbell, middle linebacker, all-pro middle linebacker, and then him teaching Quay Walker, who's 6'3", speed demon, who can hit, just a ball hawk. They're both gonna dominate. It's gonna be pretty cool having those two guys roam in the middle. And if teams are able to get the ball off from Rashawn Gary sacking them, they're going to have to throw it either between Jair Island and, Amos and Savage, or over Rajul Douglas, or, try to get it past Eric Stokes before he catches up to it. So, because, he's he's got blazing speed. So it will be interesting. I do really, really, really like the Packers defense. I think they have a chance to be top 5, top 3, or number 1 in the league. They have that kind of talent on all levels, and I'm excited. It should be great. So let's see what the other. That wasn't anything. So I was excited to kind of go over a little bit of that. Rodgers looks to have a big season. I don't think he's going to win the MVP this year. I think there's too many moving parts. I think it might take them a few weeks to get the ball rolling. I think they might be running the ball a lot early on. We'll see how it goes. Rodgers doesn't like preseason, and he's going to need preseason in order to get this relationship with the wide receivers, especially the young ones. And if he doesn't do it, if he only does, we'll see if he does it at all. But we all remember week 1 last year against the Saints down in Jacksonville, where I think it was a shutout or they scored 3 points. So got blown out. I know Jameis Winston threw like 5 touchdown passes, and it was just, a domination. But Packers kind of use that as like Rodgers' preseason game, but week 1's not really the time to do that. So hopefully they get it all figured out earlier than later, and Rodgers can kind of get it going. But I think guys like Herbert or Burrow probably will win the MVP. I think they're just going to have huge seasons, and they're going to be hard to keep up with. Rodgers is not going to have, the big dynamic playmaker in Adams, but he's going to be splitting them or divvying up the ball more. He's going to be throwing it over here and over here to the open man, and they're going to be scheming guys open. LaFleur is about setting up, scheming out, running routes that kind of get the defense tricked and get guys in spaces where they're, wide open, or, run guys on crossing routes and then run a wheel route down the sideline and just kind of open up space. It's all about clearing out and making space for guys that find zones or whatever to get in between the defense. So I'm excited. Obviously, Rodgers is one of the best throwers of the football ever, and he'll be able to get it wherever, the play is designed for. And I think they have enough playmakers that they'll be able to compensate for the loss of Adams, and that defense is going to just be scary. So even if, the offense takes some time to get going, that defense is going to be right there to keep them in games early on. They held the San Francisco 49ers to 6 points only. Obviously, the 49ers scored 13 with that block punt touchdown, but they also, against the Chiefs, I think it was like 13 they held them to total, but the Packers only scored 10 because they had Jordan Love. So, holding the Chiefs, that's the more impressive one to me because it was in Kansas City. They had Mahomes, and the defense held. San Francisco, that was tough. It was cold. We should have won that game. There's a lot of, Dylan got hurt early on special teams, so bummer. I saw Dylan really dominate a lot of late games throughout the season. Like fourth quarters, just hand it off and, pound yourself down the field, march down the field, get down there and run clock, all those things. And in that fourth quarter against San Francisco, after defense gets a big stop and everything, we have to punt it because Jones couldn't get any yards, and then Rodgers missed Lazard on the open crosser when he threw it to double coverage to Adams. So bummer, but now he's not going to be forcing it to Adams anymore, so that could be a blessing. So we will see. That's the Packers check-in for today. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Q_noseball, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.